You can't legislate AI because, I mean, it changes so quickly, and criminals are criminals, and so they're going to use it like criminals do. So, I mean, the only thing that people can do is, I mean, embrace it and get to familiar on how it works so that you can spot, like you can, the AI generated text or the AI images or even the chatbots out there. I mean, there's telltale signs, and the creators of this generative AI know that they don't want it to be too perfect. So, I mean, embrace it so that way you can spot a fake. But also, I think people have to go into this AI conversation and understand that we're still a people world. You can come up with chatbots and avatars, but people still want to talk with people. So it may be great for like maybe a quick ad, but I think people are in the mindset of, well, I'm going to use AI to replace me so I can go hang out at the beach. But you know that in real estate, you can't, you got to get your hustle on and you got to connect with people. And that's what just about any business. People do business with people.
Hi there. Welcome to the Connecting KC podcast. I'm Rachel Kilmer, also known as Rach the Realtor on the internet, where I love, well, connecting all things KC. I'm a metro area real estate agent, retired sports reporter, and mom, and probably too old to call myself a TikToker, but honestly, that's how we got here. You can learn more at www.rachtherealtorkc.com. But this show is all about introducing you to all of the movers and shakers, interesting people, heartfelt stories, and funny quirks that make this vibrant community home. So let's get right to it with today's episode of Connecting KC. Welcome into today's episode of Connecting Kansas City, where I am so excited to be joined by Burton Kelso. He is a keynote speaker and trainer, an entrepreneur, a TED Talks and cybersecurity technology speaker, and on-air TV tech expert. Burton loves technology and is serious about making technology safe and easy to use for everyone. Burton, thank you for being here today. I appreciate you taking the time.
Hey, thanks for having me. I need to get out in your neck of the woods and get some PTs and get a tenderloin the size of my head.
Yes, yeah, it'll serve you 3 lunches there. So nothing like some good old Midwestern cooking. Tell me about your business here. How did you become the tech guy? What's your backstory? How'd you end up here today?
Well, I kept getting fired everywhere I worked, so I figured I needed to pick up a profession. So about 31 years ago, I decided to start a tech company by the name of Integral. And it was kind of cutting edge at the time because we went on site to homes and businesses to take care of all their computer needs. It didn't matter if it was Windows, Macintosh, and of course, eventually smartphones and tablets. So our motto is that we love technology. We've read all the manuals and we're serious about making technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everybody.
You say that, but then there's people like me who, when I have an IT department to call, it's the old, hey, Burton's team, can you please help me? And you be like, is it plugged in? Oh, bye.
Come on, I can't believe you just grouped me in that category of nerds.
It's me. Some of us just don't have the technology gene. So how do you teach the people that struggle with it? Even like me, I'm young enough, I shouldn't, but there are times that I'm like, why can't I figure this out? Like, how do you work with people like that?
Well, I'm going to ask you, so do you work on your own automobile? Do you change the oil or switch out engines if something goes wrong?
No.
People just need to learn to call somebody who's got some tech expertise. I mean, we didn't come out of the womb knowing this stuff, and either you have tech aptitude or you don't have tech aptitude. So, I mean, if you get stuck, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you got other things to do. Just call somebody in to come fix it, and don't feel stupid or guilty because you didn't understand why the printer didn't hook up to your Wi-Fi or why your Wi-Fi's not working or why your computer won't come on.
Okay, I love that. That takes so much shame out of it. I don't know. I feel like there's this thing where it's like, if you can't figure out technology, you're stupid. But no one does that if you don't know how to change your oil. That's so true. I love that.
Yeah, you're stupid if you're trying to fix it yourself. I mean, even if you're just an everyday person, just take it in. I mean, think about the office copy machine. Does anyone try to fix the copier? No. I mean, you just call somebody in and fix it. I mean, there's things that you can do is check for paper jams, and that's pretty much it, right? Change out your toner. Yeah, but other than that, when people get stuck, you call in the big guns. You know, you should do that with every piece of technology you own.
Yeah. So is Integral still, is it just in Kansas City or have you guys grown?
Way that big. We service about 80-mile radius from downtown Kansas City. So we hit KC and all the surrounding areas. It's not like we're, well, now I take that back. We do have customers in different states that we do remote support. But as far as on-site's concerned, then yeah, it's within the Kansas City metro area.
And how big is your team? If someone calls Integral, do we get Burton or is there like how many people do you have?
You get my office manager, Desiree, but yeah, last year I had several techs, but they were geeks, so I had to let them go. You don't play that at Integral. We want people that are able to talk to people and not do geeky stuff.
That's hard. That's hard. It's a hard balance to strike, right? Like,
Struggle's real. I mean, it's hard out in these streets, especially, getting good help. And I know all entrepreneurs are suffering with that. So, yeah.
do you know the slide from the Keeping Up with the Kardashians? That's like, no one wants to work these days. People just need to get up off their ass and work. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Heck yeah.
I say that all the time. I'm like, I'm trying to pay someone to do this. Please, someone come do this job.
Right. Yeah. It's hard. It'll keep you up at night going, is it me? But it's people. It's people.
For sure. So talk to me about technology. What's your favorite piece of tech right now that you're geeking out on and spending your free time tinkering with?
There you go, using that word, geeking out. I would say probably AI is the thing that I am talking about the most and that is capturing everyone's attention. I almost said smartphone, Rach, but the challenge is that I still have an iPhone 13 and I've got an old raggedy Android. So I'm not the guy that's rushing out to buy stuff just to be buying it. I guess I'm more laid back as far as technology is concerned. As long as it works, just roll with it. You don't always have to have the latest and greatest. But AI obviously is an important tool that everybody should embrace. And it's just not for businesses either. I mean, AI is essentially going to take the place of Google. So it's a good idea to get into that mindset of looking stuff on AI as opposed to just doing your regular raggedy Google searches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I forget sometimes that it's there. Like, it's just right at our fingertips and I'll be sitting here like struggling with something and I'm like, oh, didn't even think that we could just use this shortcut. So I think so much of this is like retraining your brain to like use the new tools we have, right? Like, how do you advise that we get better at that?
Well, the best thing to do for most people is to download the AI tools to your smartphone. So ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, and the one that everyone hates, Meta AI. I mean, they're all accessible on your smartphone. So rather than going to Uncle Google, just get on those apps and just look up whatever you've got questions about. And of course, AI can just answer any question you have, whether it's home related, business related, or just things that you speculate and wonder, what if this would have happened?
Mm-hmm. I love that. It's very cool and very useful, but there's also times that I'm like, it's lazy too. Like the way people use it is lazy, right? Like I swear on my life, I saw someone's engagement announcement on Facebook or Instagram over the weekend that was written with AI. Like, I'm so happy to announce that we are engaged. And if the way it's written, you can tell it's that. I was like, what? What is happening? And then I'm a real estate agent. In the real estate world, a lot of agents are using it to write their listing descriptions, but then they don't change anything. And so the word, like they use the word exquisite a lot. I'm like, we don't, as Americans, use the word exquisite in daily language. So I know right away that you did not write that. Where's the line between using it as a tool and not using it like this crutch that you lean on and then it makes you look worse than if you would have just written it yourself, right?
I know. I've spoken a lot in the real estate world and even have had CE and non-CE classes on how to effectively use AI. But I think the main thing that everyone needs to understand, and real estate agents too, is that you need to just use it as a foundation to get started. So if you're trying to write a house listing, or if you're trying to be better at social media as a real estate agent or business, then you just want to get that over that initial hump of, I can't think of what to post, or I need an awesome graphic to use for my business. Just get over that hump and find out what you want to use first. And then you can kind of go on and embellish and use your own creativity, no matter how small, in order to get something that's going to sound nice and personable and not recycled.
For sure. Is there any AI right now or tech in general that you're like, I'm not touching that. I don't want anything to do with that. That is taking it way too far. It's a no for me.
I would say ChatGPT. I mean, everyone's talking about it, but I mean, that's like, I mean, it's got a lot of GPTs and stuff like that. But to be honest, especially any small business, you need to jump on the Microsoft Copilot bandwagon. Yeah, ChatGPT, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's there. But Copilot is basically ChatGPT 4. I bet you didn't know that, did you? Yeah, so a lot of people pay for ChatGPT, and I currently have a monthly subscription, but you can get the same type of content with Microsoft Copilot because Microsoft is the one who funded OpenAI, who created ChatGPT. So, of course, part of that, Microsoft's like, yeah, we're going to give you some money, but we're going to need a little of that technology for ourselves. So, yeah, that's the secret sauce. Yeah, Copilot is slept on. It's like, yeah, you could use ChatGPT because it is a pretty robust program. But for the average user and the average small business user, Copilot does awesome AI generation and it does awesome text. And the good thing about Copilot is that it will cite sources is where automatically where it got its information. With ChatGPT, you've got to ask every time, well, where is this coming from? Copilot's like, bam, here it is. And here's where I may have gotten that data. So that way you can kind of protect yourself from what I call, liberating art and text from the internet.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Does Copilot, like, this is what it probably exists and I just don't know, but like I want it spreadsheets. I want to just be able to say, please make me a spreadsheet that shows the average cost of, whatever, and then the days on market or what, and like I say it in words and then it comes out in data. Does Copilot do that?
Yeah. I mean, if you can do it in ChatGPT, you can do it in Copilot. Because, I mean, it's running the same engine.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind with Copilot, you don't get to, well, you can work around it, but ChatGPT pretty much gives you unlimited prompts on a specific subject. So that's the advantage. But if you're just trying to do your day to day, or you just want to figure out or get solutions for common problems, yeah, go with Copilot or Google Gemini, but that's funny. Isn't that funny that, as far as the whole ChatGPT, I'm like, everyone's talking about that. So I try to stay away from that and try to go with technology that is cutting edge, and that's a little bit different and more user friendly.
Mm-hmm. You're like the hipster of technology. Like, oh, if you've heard of that band, I don't listen to them. Like, I only use those cool ones.
Right. I'm like that with music too. It's like, oh yeah, they're the hits. I'm like, I want to hear the B-sides and the obscure stuff, That's kind of me.
I had a client event this weekend, so we had some clients out. We did a bus tour around town, but one of the guys that showed up had a phone that it was like clipped onto his shirt and projected onto his hand, and like was like touching it. I'm like, what is the point of that? And he's like, well, it like breaks you from your screen time addiction. And I'm like, but can't you just get like a Nokia, like brick phone? Like why does technology, it's like so cyclical. It's like we go all the way this way and then we build new, more extreme things to take us right back to where we started, right? Like, are you familiar with this concept?
That dude was just showing off. They had nothing to do about, I want to reduce my screen time. Because like you said, Rachel, it's like, hey, let's go get a flip phone if you want to reduce your screen time, not like do this number, that's just, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
Are you nervous about where AI is going to go? Like, I don't know, like my team, we had an onboarding call with this tech company last week and we thought we were meeting with a person. And so we get on the call to like teach us how to use it. And she goes, oh, my camera's not working today. So please, thank you, please excuse that. And we're like, okay, whatever. And then as the call goes on, I'm like, this is not a human. this is freaking AI. And I was like screen sharing my computer and she was live reacting to what she was seeing in my screen, but it was a robot. I'm like, that's so scary. Like I mean, where's the line, and how are we going to need to legislate this, or how do we keep this from going?
You can't legislate AI because I mean it changes so quickly, and criminals are criminals, and so they're going to use it like criminals do. So I mean, the only thing that people can do is, I mean, embrace it and get to familiar on how it works, so that you can spot, like you can, the AI generated text or the AI images or even the chatbots out there. I mean, there's telltale signs, and the creators of this generative AI know that they don't want it to be too perfect. So, I mean, embrace it so that way you can spot a fake. But also, I think people have to go into this AI conversation and understand that we're still a people world. You can come up with chatbots and avatars, but people still want to talk with people. So it may be great for like maybe a quick ad, but I think people are in the mindset of, well, I'm going to use AI to replace me so I can go hang out at the beach. But you know that in real estate, you can't, you got to get your hustle on and you got to connect with people. And that's with just about any business. People do business with people. I mean, that's the end, you know?
Yeah. And it's like, maybe it'll make us more efficient. And there's certain aspects of our job we don't personally do anymore, but nothing can replace the relational like empathy from human to human. So
Not at all. And then you have to remember too that a lot of people just throw tech out just for the sake of tech. As a realtor, you remember the days 2 years ago about the metaverse. Remember going through all that training about how you were going to sell homes on the virtual landscape and virtual subdivisions? Who's talking about meta now?
yeah, yeah, it's like every 2 years, it's something different.
It is. It's like technology is meant to be disruptive, but just because it's disrupted doesn't mean that you have to jump on every little thing that comes along. Like, have you purchased a pair of Google, or not Google, but Apple's Vision Pro eyeglasses or headset?
No, no, I won't.
Yeah, $3,500. That's a mortgage payment, or a small car. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, this is my hot take though. This is probably a terrible take. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Just microchip me. Let's just get it over with. Just put a freaking chip in my arm. I'm tired of remembering 85 million passwords. I'm already carrying, you can already track me anyways. Just put the chip in my arm. I'm done. Just chip me. And then I don't have to remember all this. And you can just like swoop, swipe in, swoop, pay for my coffee. It's like, is that a terrible idea?
You got a phone. You're already microchipped.
That's what I'm saying. Just put it in my arm. I'm ready. Sign me up.
I like that. I'm ready. You got one. You got a phone.
Yeah. It's mostly just memorizing all these dang passwords. It's like, how many hours per week am I sitting here trying to figure out which password, which the Apple like keychain helps a lot, but I'm like, no, this is so ridiculous. Like, I don't know, the fingerprint. We gotta find a better way.
Yeah. The biometrics is taken off. That's going to be the new password. So facial recognition, your fingerprint, anything tied to your body, that's where all the password stuff's going. So you're kind of getting your wish, but I don't think you're going to be microchipped like a pet yet. You're already microchipped with your smartphone, so you may have to deal with that for a few years. And with Apple, what do they call it? Yeah, it's Apple biometrics. And then what else is coming down the line? Apple Intelligence. AI doesn't stand for AI; it stands for Apple Intelligence. So we're getting there. It's just baby steps. I think someone lost their arm or leg. They got microchipped. That's why it hasn't rolled out yet. They got an infection. Jabbed it in there, and next thing you know, a hand or an arm falls off. So yeah, make sure that stuff safe and that you're not carrying around a bunch of radiation too.
I mean, who who knows? Like, it's also new, right? Like carrying around a computer all day in your pocket in the grand scheme of things is so new. It's so wild to know that like we don't know how this will impact us, like psychologically or like physiologically, and on like a long-term scale. I mean, it's like 20 years since, like what is it going to look like after 100 years? It's so interesting to think about.
Yeah, it's addicting. Of course, the Surgeon General is talking about well, at least with social media, for young kids, how they need to put a warning label on it, just like you would do a pack of smokes. But I kind of agree with that because our devices can be addicting and I think especially for entrepreneurs, because of the large reach that we can get while we're on social media. You don't have to do a bunch of pop buys or, drop in with customers, or you don't even have to really do your blog or your email campaign because people are just constantly follow you online, and you want to make sure that you show up every day on social media. So it can kind of be addicting to see all that stuff on your smartphone.
Yeah, it is. And it's like especially for entrepreneurs, business owners, the like instant gratification of my effort immediately produces out an outcome of either, whatever, a follower or a new email for my database or whatever it may be. It makes it really hard to put it down and break away for sure.
Yeah, but I think with social media, especially with Meta, and I know you're huge on Tik and Insta, correct?
Mostly just TikTok, so my days may be numbered.
Oh yeah, they may be, but you better get on the Insta Reels so that you can just pick up where you left off. But I think the challenge is on most of these social media platforms, they're all starting to go to pay to play. How many ads or sponsored posts do you see? So I think the idea with social media is to make sure that you just show up, and not worry about the algorithm and how many people are engaging with your posts. So that's my hot take. Just post and don't worry about it.
I totally agree. I saw this thing yesterday that was like, I only had 25 views, and then it shows like a classroom full of 25 people, and it's like, oh, I only had 1,000 views, and then it shows 1,000 people, and it's like, okay, that's a pretty powerful reach. Even if it's not like a flashy number, it's still an opportunity to connect with way more people than you ever could in just real life. So yeah, it's very cool.
I read something real quick about the whole thing with social media about, if 50 people came up to you in person and said something, you'd be overwhelmed. So even if 10 people came up to you, so I think you can't look at just the going viral. It's just how many connections have you made? And then a lot of social media, especially like LinkedIn, it's like a lurker network. So people see it, but they just don't comment. They just go through a doom scroll, and they, your face just happens to pop up. So I think at the end of the day, entrepreneurs or people who are just trying to hustle just need to realize, just post and don't worry about if you get a bunch of likes or comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, last two questions I ask everyone that comes on the show. First one is, what is a great meal that you've had out and about recently in Kansas City?
I think I was at Johnny's yesterday. It had the appetizer of the lettuce wraps, the chicken lettuce wraps. So that was, pretty good. And yeah, I know that's odd.
No, I love Johnny's. Yeah. They're just like dependable. You know what you're going to get. You can get right in, get right out. Yeah, it's solid.
What about their salad, the walnut apple? Yeah, the apple walnut salad. You never had that?
I have not.
Oh, yeah, they've got the Granny Smith apples surrounding the plate slices. And then, it's good.
That sounds nice. I'm more of a ranch salad girly. So I always go for and they have good ranch at Johnny's. So I always go for the ranch.
Ranch, huh?
Yeah. Midwestern. Okay. Last question I ask everyone is, where can people find you? If they want to get connected with you, what's the best place online? Do you have any speaking gigs coming up? Where are you for people that want to know more?
Well, I'm everywhere online. Just look at Burton Kelso. But do I have anything local? No, I think I'm traveling out the next couple of months. So if you wanted to reach me locally, that would have been last. But I always post a weekly blog. You can just go to burtonkelso.com to look at it. I also have a YouTube channel. Just look, Burton Kelso. I have weekly tips and tricks that are helping the average computer person figure out what's going on and how to stay safe and how to have fun with technology.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. I appreciate it. And guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.